The white heterosexual girl, Caitlin Clark, got herself an 8-figure Nike deal, and that's a big deal in the basketball community. See, in the basketball community, you kind of judge your success on your shoe deal. It is literally idiotic. Well, Nikola Jokić is the MVP of the league. He's the best player in the world. He's been the best player in the world for the last few years. You know who he has a shoe deal with? I'm going to tell you here in a...
In the competitive world of sports, respect isn't handed out, it's earned. So when Nikola Jokić, the two-time MVP and NBA champion, paused everything to deliver a powerful, unexpected message to Caitlin Clark, the entire basketball world took notice. But what no one expected was that he wasn't alone in speaking up. And if you think that moment was big, just wait, because this story goes far beyond a single compliment. What comes next might just change your perspective entirely.
Standing ovation on the Jumbotron here. Everybody welcoming him in. So much love for Jokić here in Denver, guys.
Oh, absolutely, KG.
Let's start with Nikola Jokić. He's not the loudest voice in the NBA. No fiery speeches, no attention-seeking headlines. But when he talks, the basketball world pays attention. And when he spoke about Caitlin Clark, his words left everyone stunned.
He had 23 points, came down to earth after dropping 36, 21, and 14 in game one. He had just 23 points and 9 of 21 shooting, but still had 17 rebounds and 12 assists, 3 steals. The man had another triple-double. He's sensational. Slow as a snail, can't jump onto a curb, big tub of lard, and you can't stop him. It's just the truth.
Jokić praised Clark's extraordinary basketball IQ and the way she's reshaping the game. He said, Caitlin plays with a vision and understanding that's rare. She makes everyone around her better, and that's the true mark of greatness. But here's where things get even more surprising.
Heterosexual girl, Caitlin Clark, got herself an 8-figure Nike deal, and that's a big deal in the basketball community. See, in the basketball community, you kind of judge your success on your shoe deal. It is literally idiotic. Well, Nikola Jokić is the MVP of the league. He's the best player in the world. He's been the best player in the world for the last few years. You know who he has a shoe deal with? I'm going to tell you here in a minute. Wembanyama is the next big thing, certainly more so than Jokić, regardless of the results on the court, although Wembanyama is going to be the MVP of the league probably within 2 years. According to reports, Nike had no plan to build a shoe around Jokić, instead focusing on Victor Wembanyama, the face of the brand's new Air Immersion Space sneakers. And I get it. Jokić ultimately had to settle for a deal with a Chinese company, 361 Degrees, a brand that can hardly keep pace with Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. No, it cannot hardly keep pace. It has no chance of keeping.
Analysts started diving into Clark's game tape, and the comparisons to Jokic's ball movement? Jaw-dropping. Her basketball IQ isn't just impressive for a rookie, it's elite, full stop. And if that surprised you, hold on. Because now, some of the NBA's biggest stars are stepping forward to show her serious respect.
The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. For anyone that's, you know, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, you know, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
LeBron James isn't one to hand out compliments lightly. But when Caitlin Clark started rewriting college records and turning the WNBA into primetime must-watch TV, he took notice. She's great for basketball. Period. But here's what most people missed. LeBron's words weren't just a casual shout-out. They felt like a passing of the torch. This is the same man who helped shape the global empire that basketball is today. When LeBron says you matter to the game itself. And that brings us to the king of the deep range.
Range, her three-point shooting overall, her flair for testing her range every night and knowing that the other team's going to try to take it away. And she's fearless. No shot is a bad shot when you can shoot it as well as she can.
Steph Curry, the man who made shooting from the logo a global phenomenon, called Caitlin Clark must-see TV. But the reason behind his praise? That's where it gets wild. Steph doesn't see her as a copy of his game. He sees her as the next evolution, a true successor. And just when it felt like the hype couldn't get any bigger, Curry admitted something that stunned fans. Clark's fearless confidence reminds him of his own early rise, that's a full-circle moment no one saw coming. Strangely enough, Steph and Caitlin have more in common than just long-range dominance. Before the titles, before the MVPs, before he became the face of a basketball revolution, Steph was a quiet, determined sharpshooter with something to prove. And Nike had every chance to lock him in. But what happened in that boardroom still stands as one of the most baffling missteps in modern sports marketing.
The all-time three-point king in the NBA!
When Steph Curry's Nike contract came up for renewal in 2013, the pitch was sloppy, almost careless. One Nike executive even mispronounced his name as Steph. Not a small mistake when you're sitting across from a man about to revolutionize the game. Then came the presentation slide, still labeled with Kevin Durant's name. They hadn't even bothered to personalize IT, that IT wasn't just disrespectful. It was humiliating. To make matters worse, Nike didn't offer Curry a signature shoe line. Instead, they bundled him into a generic, low-tier deal with lesser-known athletes. No belief in his future, no vision for what he could become. So Curry walked. He signed with Under Armour. And what followed? The stuff of sports legend. Steph didn't just prove Nike wrong. He transformed Under Armour into a basketball powerhouse. He didn't just win championships, he redefined how the game is played. That quiet, team-first kid from Davidson became the greatest shooter in NBA history, the face of a global brand, and one of the most beloved superstars the league has ever seen. And now, Caitlin Clark is standing at the edge of a similar moment.
Right half court. Curry pulls up from the logo. It's good! Curry with a little shimmy at midcourt. The timeout for Dallas.
What makes this story almost unbelievable is that it's happening again, in real time. But this time, the player isn't Stephen Curry. It's Caitlin Clark. Just like Steph, Caitlin is being underestimated by the very brand that prides itself on being ahead of the curve. Nike has offered her a $5 million endorsement deal. And while that may sound impressive, it pales in comparison to what Adidas and other brands are reportedly putting on the table. But here's the thing. Caitlin Clark's value goes far beyond the box score. Sure, she shattered the all-time NCAA Division I scoring record, men's and women's. Sure, she sold out arenas and made women's basketball appointment viewing. But it's her impact that's seismic. She shifted the entire narrative around the women's game. And yet, Nike doesn't seem to see it. Just like they didn't see it with Steph. Both Clark and Curry share that same quiet fire. They don't need to scream to be heard. They're not chasing controversy, clout, or headlines. They're grounded, respectful, laser-focused. They let their game speak volumes. And maybe, just maybe, that's why Nike missed on both of them. Too clean. Not edgy enough. Not chaotic enough for a brand that sometimes leans into controversy to stay in the spotlight. But here's the twist. In trying to be too cool to care, Nike might have once again overlooked the very future of basketball.
Alec Burks guarding it from the start. Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! There it is!
What Nike failed to recognize, the very thing that made Steph Curry special, is now the same thing they're missing in Caitlin Clark. These athletes don't need to play the villain to become legends. They don't chase drama. They earn their spotlight through pure excellence. And here's what's truly wild. Nike had a front row seat twice, and fumbled it both times. Now, Caitlin Clark stands at a crossroads with the same potential Steph once had. To walk away from Nike, partner with a brand that actually sees her worth, and build something iconic. And if that sounds far-fetched, just look at Curry. He's got a lifetime deal with Under Armour, and a signature line that's now worth billions in brand value. That could be Caitlin in just a few years. Only this time, she's not just building a brand. She's carrying the weight of an entire movement in women's sports. She's not just changing the game. She's redefining who gets to lead it.
Been to Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark, cut it!
And if that's not deja vu for Nike, what is? Here we are again, Nike standing face to face with greatness and shrugging. Caitlin Clark, just like Steph Curry before her, is poised at a legacy-defining crossroads. But the question isn't if she'll rise to the moment. We already know she will. The real question is, which brand will recognize her value before it's too late? Because if Nike misses this shot again, it won't just be a mistake. It'll be a legacy-defining failure. A brand that passed on greatness twice. And then there's Isaiah Thomas, arguably one of the smartest point guards to ever grace the court. His verdict?
I actually love the attention that Caitlin has brought to the WNBA, and I love the attention that women's basketball is getting. For too long, we've kind of the media hasn't really shined the light on the WNBA athletically and competitively. They'll give it a nod every now and then, but now, since Caitlin has arrived and she had a great college career and she was fantastic to watch, and you're curious and you want to see it go on. So I think it's great what she's done, and I think it's great what the media and the WNBA and marketing and the players are doing, because controversy is not good, but controversy sells.
And that's where things take a wild turn. When Isaiah Thomas, one of the sharpest minds the game has ever seen, says your basketball IQ is special, it's not just praise. It's a seal of approval. And in the tight-knit brotherhood of the NBA, that kind of endorsement is sacred. It means you're in the top 1%. You don't just belong, you're respected. Then there's rising star Tyrese Halliburton. He's not just watching from the sidelines, he's all in. A fan? Sure. But more than that, he's a believer.
I've said it many times, Caitlin is amazing. She's, I think for me, getting to actually spend time around her, be around her, get to know her personally, she's just an amazing person, an amazing player. She deals with there's a lot of rhetoric behind her that she really has no control over, and I think that the way she handles that is just amazing. Like, I think when it comes to the game of basketball, like, she's probably top 5 most famous people that are playing right now, just in general. That includes our league as well. And she handles it with such grace, and she's like such a cool person. At the end of the day, she's just a girl from Iowa who's just really good at basketball, and it's really cool to see what she does. And I think the Fever in general, they're like rock stars. They are a big part of the growth behind that league, and they will be a big part of that moving forward, because I think everybody can see that there's going to be a lot of success from that team moving forward, with Aaliyah and Kelsey and, new coach. I mean, she's a superstar, and really one of the first superstars that the W has had at that level, at the level she's at. So to see what she's doing is amazing, and she's become a good friend of mine, over the past year, and anything that I can do to help, I will, but I don't think she necessarily needs my help by any means. She's amazing. That group is amazing, and to see what they're doing for women's basketball as a whole has been really cool, and she's spearheading that. So I'm just glad to be a part of the journey and watch what she does. I feel like I have like a front row seat, with her being in our backyard, and the Fever do.